What? Hey, you guys. Took me a few seconds to realize that we were on. I was screaming like a banshee a second ago because my husband's out there. And I'm in the process of final packing for my trip tomorrow. But I had a few things I needed to say first. Hey, I'm doing a live stream right now. That's fine. Do whatever you need to do. Just don't bug me about it. Okay. If you don't know who I am, I'm Suzanne Titkemeyer. I used to write for Pathos. I wrote a column called No Longer Quivering about the evangelical quiverful world. Tomorrow's supposed to be Taco Tuesday, and it's not going to be because I am flying out first thing in the morning, going to the States for a good 3-week span. I don't know how much I'm going to be uploading or doing videos when I'm there. I'm sure I'll be streaming, but it probably won't be in the Friday and Tuesday range. It'll be more freeform based upon when we don't have anything going on and if I have a good internet here. Okay, don't bully anybody I'm going to talk about. Don't even be rude to each other in the comments. This morning, it was so interesting. Some things that happened. I just had to talk about it real quick. And I have to say, if you run across someone who calls a black man a boy, hey, Kentucky girl, or say they say a lot of ugly things about somebody who's struggling with their sobriety and wishing that person would fall off the sobriety wagon. Or maybe they decide to call somebody who walks with a cane a gimp. I have to say this, that person is not a good person who says these things. When people make up these crazy ideas and wish horrible things on other people all the time, it pretty much shows you what kind of person they are, and it's not always very good. So I would suggest just ignoring that crap. I am ignoring it along with all the other lies. I'm ignoring it. Some have suggested that the person doing this is Natalie Kennett. Could be. I don't know. I don't know Natalie that well. Talked to her a few times and a few times only. So that was really all I came on here to say is don't listen to people that are calling people names for no reason. Or should I say, maybe they have a made-up reason in their mind. But if they do that to one set of people, they are willing to go ahead and do it to everybody else. So if you run across people like that, it's really better to keep them kind of at arm's length and not really interact with them. It's the best way. Mute them if you're on Twitter and you can't stand all the crap they're saying and doing. It's just so much easier on your psyche and your emotions, I've discovered. Okay, so I'm in final trip mode now. We're waiting for the house sitter. And I'm doing the last little load of laundry. And then I'll be done. I'm kind of curious to see how it goes this trip. I go every year. I go summertime, sometimes fall, back to the United States. In order to get all the stuff that I can't get here, I have to get a pillow top mattress pad and a pile of quilt batting. Can't make quilts without quilt batting. So that's what I'm going to do. That's going to be it. Now, there's a lot going on in the world of KJ, and I spoke about her the other day in regards to her lawsuit. I really haven't been watching that, and I probably won't be watching that. Hey, Plays in the Rains, because I don't really know what's going to happen with that. And if you're coming here and you're a Duggar Hugger and you want me to come up with Duggar stories, you're about to be extremely disappointed because I'm not doing that either. Who is eager to see the Duggar documentary series, Happy Shiny People? I know that I am. June the 1st, I'm going to be sitting in front of that television watching that, especially in the States where I can get a little bit clearer picture that I can hear all the time. So that's really it. This is going to be an interesting trip because part of it I'm flying first class, part of it I'm not. I'm flying economy. So I'm going to be kind of all over the flying map and trying some different airlines this time. You too, you're going to watch it, Blazing the Rains. I can't wait in some ways, except that I'm going to say this. When I was at No Longer Quivering and the scandal came out about Josh having touched his sisters, I sat down and put together a timeline, side by side piece saying about the family and how it lined up with what it says on the police report were two totally different things. So I contrasted the two of those, and you can't tell me that TLC did not know about the scandal. Him touching his sisters, that whole reveal, they were at the house there when they were all at the house filming the birth of one of Mrs. Duggar's children when Josh went to court against DHS and sued him over this deal before it became public knowledge. Now, it had been whispered about for years. I had heard rumors about it even before they became famous. You know, pray for this family in Arkansas. The husband is a state senator or state senator wannabe, and his son is blah blah blah. So that was always interesting, is seeing this from the other side now that I'm out of that and seeing it. And one of the things that came about was the Duggar show came about right as I was leaving my old church. The first time I watched it, I was like almost throwing up. I could point you to at least two or three different people. I'm picking up my desk while we're talking. Two or three different people that I lost my train of thought. That shows you how dinged out on the drugs I am right now. I can show you two or three different people in my old church that talked exactly like Michelle Duggar, dressed like her, did their hair like her, because that was the whole Bill Gothard thing. That was the ATI-IBLP thing. Women have long flowing waves. They wear very feminine clothing. You speak softly like this, which is kind of funny because my occupational therapist for my lungs and for my asthma told me that I should be speaking like this. That if I could cultivate this kind of speaking voice, a very light, low one, that it would help with my asthma. Well, the hell with that. That's not my natural speaking voice at all. And I don't think it's Michelle Duggar's natural one any more than is the natural one of any woman, I think. I think most women don't have that little girl. Well, this is how we do things because this is how our husband wants it. And we're blessed to be able to submit to him and do things the way that God intended. What is that all about? Why would you deny your essential self to put on this fake self that never fooled anyone? Most of us can see how false that is. And article I just saw in the New York Post about the documentary, it talked about how Michelle and Jim Bob covered up for Josh and everything. And I believe that because that was the conclusion I came to when I put together my document. I have to look and see if I can find it and post it up in the community tab here, because I sat there and took a long time putting that thing together. It's kind of a hassle, but it's a good side by side to see what really happened versus the lie Michelle and Jim Bob said happened. I think it's interesting that the cop that took the report, the one that Jim Bob reached out to, also got busted for something. Or was it something similar to what Josh did? One of the things that Josh did. The other thing that's going to be interesting about this documentary is I spent a lot of time talking to Bobby and Jim Holt, who were firm friends of the Duggars right up until the moment that all this came out. Once Jim Bob explained it all to Jim Holt, the courtship was over because Jim Holt's daughter had a courtship with Josh. And I want to say there was another courtship that did not go well that was ended very quickly, but I don't remember exactly who that was. But I seem to remember there were two courtships that Josh was in that went nowhere because of some of this stuff. I don't know. But I do like the fact that the documentary says the television show 19 Kids and Counting was more of an advertorial for the IBLP, because there's a lot of truth in that. I think that's the truth of the matter. Oh, so we're going to see all of that. Jen from Fundy Fridays is on it, I understand. Go Jen is awesome. I don't, Amy Duggar, Famey, as a lot of people call her, is on it too, but I just cannot with her ever since that she's been hanging out with you know who. I just can't. But I'm very interested to hear what Jill and Derek have to say, because I know that Derek has threatened to write the ultimate and tell all books, and I've been kind of waiting for that. I've been here for that, but it hasn't happened yet, and I don't know that it's ever going to happen, because that's one thing I can tell you from working on my book. Putting together a book is kind of like trying to eat an elephant with a teaspoon. It takes forever. It's a long slog. People get burned out. I get to the point where I get so triggered sometimes that I have to put the book down and then go back to it later. And I've allowed it in the hands of a few people for editing purposes. So it's been kind of almost traumatic doing that. So I don't see that Derek would have that kind of time, because it is time consuming. Who knows at this point? Who knows? Oh, so that was really all I wanted to say. If you're a Duggar Hugger and you're coming in here looking for Duggar gossip, please take yourself out. Go anywhere else. Go back to She We Don't Talk About, but don't come here, and don't bitch me out for not sticking to what you think you want to hear, because that doesn't happen here. But again, I'm going to reiterate what I said at the top of my live stream. If somebody is calling black men boy, they're calling somebody who has recovered from substance abuse. If they're saying they're wishing for them to lose their sobriety and to use again, and they call people who walk with canes gimps, it's time for you to get better friends. It just really is, because that's something that not very nice people do. Hey, Bliss, what a week it has been. What a week it has been already. So it has been a mess. And my asthma is worse again, and I can't kick this thing. No amount of delicious albuterol cough syrup is helping. No amount of nothing is helping. So I have to fly like this tomorrow. So it's going to be really interesting. I'm probably going to be zinged out. I probably will go ahead and take something to sleep on the plane, I hope, and just go from there. And then I'll be back here in 3 weeks. But like I said, I will be probably live streaming from my daughter's sunroom, which is my favorite spot. Here's one of the weird things about living in Costa Rica. Okay, it's hot here a lot. I don't run the AC all the time. I have started running it at night, which is odd. We haven't done that before. But my husband was trying to make himself sleep a little better. And when I'm having the asthma going on like I am right now, the albuterol makes you shake. It's an amphetamine. And I can't sleep. Between the amphetamines and the steroids, it's a no sleep, very cranky zone. Oh, and where was I going with all of this? It's not sleeping. Oh, the heat. So it's hot here. And like days like today, I'm cleaning. I'm wearing an old shirt, pair of cutoffs that are just ancient, and not a lot of underwear. So when I get to the States and I'm used to it being hot in here, I'm used to not turning on the AC until it hits about 93, 94 in the bedroom and not turning it on anywhere else in the house except when I'm cooking. The kitchen, I'll turn it on for a while. To do that and then go back to the United States where the every place is air conditioned, you know what I have to do in the middle of summer when I come back to the US? I have to bring long sleeve shirts and heavy sweaters. It's the only way I can deal with the air conditioning. So there you go. And there's just been so much stupid drama going on lately in the anti-community. It just makes me laugh. I could not handle that kind of heat. You get used to it, Kentucky. You know, I was raised in that. I was raised in South Louisiana. We didn't have air conditioning until I was like 12 or so when they installed central air. But before that, it was just like, oh, hell no. You just sweat a whole lot. You drink a lot of cold sodas and things. And I'm just staying out of it as much as I can. Bliss, that's probably smart. You know, I wasn't going to answer anybody in this, but when they started calling me a gimp and wishing that Megan would lose her sobriety, I was just kind of like over it then. It was like, bring out the damn voodoo doll and the pins. And the silly thing about it is I'm being accused of being angry with somebody all the time. And I was only slightly miffed with them one time. You know, I let people believe and say, Kentucky girl, it is Alice. Alice is saying these horrible things about myself, about Megan, about Wolf, and about other people. She's been dragging more and more people into the drama, and I wasn't going to say anything. I was not going to say a thing about her. In fact, I had muted her like 4 months ago, something like that. And because I don't like the fighting. When people are too fighty and bitey, I just go ahead and mute them. Unless they're really fighting and bitey, then I block them, because that is what led my falling out with Alice's detractors. Was I got tired of them fighting and I just started muting them left and right, and they didn't take that real well. So basically, I'm going to go back to my policy of never saying anything. Call me Gimp all day long. I can't walk that well. That's a fact. I'm very slow. I can walk. In fact, that's one of the things I'm looking forward to at my daughter's house, is a nice little 2-block trek to Walgreens every couple of days. I'm going to start walking on there. They have sidewalks. They're actually in a neighborhood. Unlike here, where I'm on dirt roads and I'm dicing with danger because people drive like maniacs here. Kentucky, yeah, I think so. I think that's the smartest thing you can do. That's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to mute and block any of them because it's just too much. It's just constant. They're constantly coming up with crap, and it's just too much. And you guys got to hear my husband going through the fridge earlier and throwing stuff away, and I was yelling at him. He can just stay out of the fridge. Hey, Prairie, what are you up to tonight? Are you going to be watching the Duggar documentary, Shiny Happy People? Oh, I mute. Don't typically block, but most of them block me, so that's fine. Plus, I sometimes will block. If somebody is, beyond, I had somebody who was attacking me left and right, and I just blocked them. I got tired of that BS. Eating dinner with the kid. When and where is the the documentary is called Shining Happy People. It is on Amazon Prime, and it debuts June the 1st. June the 1st. And it's supposed to be a documentary series. I think it's like 2 or 3 parts. And I don't know if Amazon plans on releasing a part a week or how they plan on doing it. But it's going to be interesting. Yeah, I saw the trailer too. It does look pretty interesting. I'm kind of curious to see what I'm curious to see what Derek and Jill have to say, because they're the ones I think that are most likely to bring the Duggars down. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go, even though I've only been on here 20 minutes because I can't hardly breathe now. The asthma is super bad. I was hoping to have it ended by now, but our gardener, the guy we've hired to come in and start doing some gardening work, he was burning leaves yesterday. And I don't mean a little bit. I looked out at the yard one time yesterday, and it was like Dante's Inferno. I'm looking right now, I'm looking at all the singed grass going, oh hell no. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I plan on having a safe trip. I'm planning on being as safe as possible. So we've got good traveling time. Head to the casino for our last time because Bliss, your cruise. The picture. I keep looking at the pictures you keep posting. It looks awesome. I've never gone on a cruise. I've gone on little short ones, but never, full cruise. There's one in Europe that I've been looking at. I may want to take. Okay, you guys. I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.